Hello and welcome. Today is August 1st, which means, amongst other things, it is day one of RPG A Day 2020, and it is 3 days to my birthday, which means you have 3 days, 4 days, to buy me a present and sub to my vlog if you haven't subbed yet. Need 5 more subs by 12:01 a.m. August 4th to hit my goal, and craziness will ensue. And if I don't get 200 subs by August 4th, then I'm going to force you to watch me eat a sandwich. So think about it. So let us start our expedition into RPG A Day 2020. And the first word is beginnings. It's usually the first word. I mean, it's always been day one, beginnings, start. How did you start? I have a headache and an allergy attack. Not a good start. So, beginnings, start. How did this all begin? How did I start gaming? How was I born? How did I start vlogging? How did I get to where I am now? What was the beginning of the journey that led me to this moment of talking to you? Because, the vlog is obviously not where I wanted it to be when I started this. I had goals. I wanted this to be a source of income. It hasn't been. I wanted it to be something big and important and a lot like the other RPG blogs where I was doing things and publishing things and going out and interviewing things, and that hasn't happened, mostly because of finances and because of my health and because I didn't see a revenue coming in, so I didn't feel like there was I don't have an audience. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 4 years and I haven't even hit 200 subs yet. And there's people who've been doing it for 20 minutes and have over 1,000 subs. There's a guy who just makes videos of himself eating frickin' ramen and he's got like 7K subs for eating ramen. I ate ramen. I ate the world's hottest, spiciest ramen. I didn't get any subs. So there's some magic algorithm that I'm not doing, or I'm just not attractive because I'm edgy and angry and I say things maybe people don't want to hear. So how did this begin? Because as we approach my 54 year of life, my life is obviously not where I want it to be. There are things I want to change. The COVID-19 is an ending, but it's also a beginning. I'm at a point in my life where there's absolutely no reason for me to stay in Ventura. I have no connections with anybody anymore, partially because of COVID-19, partially because other people I know have left Ventura, partially because of choices I made, ended relationships, or choices other people made, ended relationships. I'm a very difficult individual to get along with, and I'm very set in my ways and my morals and my there's a way I think people should behave towards each other and treat each other and treat the game and treat the hobby and treat the world. And when people don't do that, or people don't treat me in a certain way, especially if I treat them with respect, no matter what I feel like about them, then that ends a lot of relationships. Talking about you, Aaron and Will. So, beginning, how did this start? Why did I start vlogging? Because there was obviously other vloggers out there doing the lots same thing that I'm doing and a lot better than I'm doing. I mean, people like Samwise, people like Runehammer, people like Runeslinger, people like the RPG Pundit. People, there are people out there just making money off of this. Mark Holmes, who I can't stand, has made a whole empire off of this. Not even to talk about Critical Role, which is, of course, one of the 4 reasons why I started this vlog. Now, I started this vlog to make money. I saw other people making money off of vlogging, and I was like, I could do that. And my friend Matt Broman was also like, dude, you can fucking do that. You've been gaming longer than most of these people. You know more about gaming than most of these people. You're a lot more interesting, funny, attractive, engaging than most of these people. You're definitely older and have the experience and have the ability to maybe acquire an audience. So do the vlogging. So that was the first reason, because I and my friend had seen other people doing it and we're both like, we could fucking do this. We'll definitely do it better than some of these idiots. So that was reason number 1. Reason number 2 was I was inspired. I was inspired, but not by other gaming vlogs. I was inspired by Adam the Woo and Justin Scard and the Fung Bros. Mostly Adam the Woo and Justin. And they don't talk about gaming, though they're both very big geeks, but they're history geeks, they're travel geeks, they're world geeks, they're Route 66 geeks, they're Disney geeks. They're people I wish I knew and I could spend time with, because I was watching their vlogs and I just felt so enraptured, so enthralled, so taken aback by what these men were doing, Adam and Justin. And they weren't doing anything. They're going to places and talking about the places. But they're talking about it with such love and such passion and such history and such research that I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be the Adam the Woo. I wanted to be the Justin Scard of gaming. I wanted to take people on a ride, on a journey into the history, the information, the positives and the negatives, the journey of gaming, how I got to gaming, how my view of gaming might, you know, have some meaning to the rest of the world. I wanted to share what was going on in this crazy, angry, happy, depressed, silly brain of mine and all this information I'd accumulated for 50 years of life with people. And vlogging seemed a way to do it. So that was reason number 2. Reason number 3 was I hit it with my axe. Now, a lot of people have said very negative things about Zach S. And he has supposedly done some horrible things. Mandy and Satine have both, and all the other people associated with, well, one person didn't, but most of the people who are associated with I hit it with my axe have said negative things about Zach. I've had conversation with Zach, and I never had any bad interaction with Zach S, but apparently he has done some really awful things. So whatever, that's a different story, different vlog. Maybe we'll talk about it later. But I was watching I Hit It With My Axe. I was watching these girls, and people are like, oh, you're watching it because they're porn stars. I'm like, no, I'm watching it because they're playing a game in such a unique and original way, because they don't have any expectations. And they're coming up with these unbelievably clever, outrageous, ridiculous, smart ways to resolve the problems that Zach is setting for them, because they don't know they can't. They don't have the boundaries. I remember one where one of them was like, well, all I've got is a blanket, so can I throw my blanket over his head? And I'm like, that's just so unique, because you don't know you can't, because there's no combat mechanic for blankets in D&D. And so many other times I've been in situations where nobody I played with at that point in time was, presenting me with these original ideas and these original challenges and playing in a way that I thought D&D should be played. Other than these girls were really interesting. The fact that they were gorgeous porn stars didn't hurt, but they were interesting people. These were people I wanted to hang out with and game with, because of the way they were gaming was so unique. And fourth and final is, of course, Critical Role, and my non-stop, continuing, ongoing love-hate relationship with Critical Role. My relationship with Critical Role could be an entire topic for another vlog. In fact, it probably should be. Now, I have made several vlogs about Critical Role in the past, and I am not a Critical Role fan. I know that. I will acquiesce that Critical Role has done some positive things from a business point of view for the hobby. They have brought people to the hobby, they have brought people back to the hobby, and they have inspired people to do things. That is positive. They have made the hobby money. That is positive. They have made themselves a ton of money, which is something to be envious of, something to be jealous of. They didn't do anything original. There are plenty of people doing what Critical Role did before Critical Role, some better than Critical Role. But Critical Role hit all the cylinders, hit all the buttons. And they did everything right at the right time to milk this for the most possible way, and then they went running. So it's very positive for the industry. It's very positive for them. My experience with Critical Role has been, unfortunately, negative. And therefore, my view of Critical Role is tainted by these negative experiences. And all my experiences with Critical Role 4 or 5 years ago, when I first started vlogging, were negative. Everything that led up was negative. Every encounter I had with anything related to Critical Role was very negative, very toxic, this is not what the hobby should be about. This is not what people should be about. This is not what Dungeons and Dragons is about. If you're coming in at me with a negative point of view because I'm not playing or running my game like Critical Role, something at that time that I'd never heard of, and having this expectation that every game you come to from now on is going to be like this guy is running his game on some YouTube show that I never heard of, that's not the way to approach the hobby. And the fact that 5 years going in, people are still doing it is not a positive thing. And Matt Mercer has commented about it, but whatever. There are some who say he wasn't very realistic. There are people, they found a niche and they made money. But I did not see myself represented in Critical Role. And I did not see the kind of people I was gaming with and the people I'd gamed with in the past and the people I wanted to share my love for this hobby with reflected in Critical Role. And at the time, 4 years ago, when I first found out about Critical Role, my first encounters with Critical Role were very negative, very toxic, I came into the Critical Role experience with a, wow, who the fuck are these assholes to cause this toxicity? And I watched the show and I was not impressed, but I'm a pro wrestling fan and I'm a fan of reality TV, and I'm a fan of cooking shows. So I was seeing the same things on Critical Role I saw on, American Pickers and on, The Bachelor. And in pro wrestling, I saw a scripted, edited, controlled reality. It's like, this isn't any different than American Pickers. It's obvious that this is in a studio and this is edited. People have argued with me time and time again that it's not edited, that it's not scripted, that it's not in a controlled, that they're not doing it for the money, they're not doing it for the sponsors. But that's not the point of this vlog. The point of this vlog is what led me to begin vlogging. What were the experiences? And those are the 4 things. RPG a day. Well, maybe 5 because I forgot RPG a day. And then seeing RPG a day and seeing people talk about role-playing every day. And it's like, oh, here's something that could inspire me to do vlogging every day. And it's something people want to talk about, so I'll do it too. And when it first started, it was questions like, what's your favorite game? Who's your favorite NPC? What's your favorite magic item? What's your favorite thing? And I was like, there's more trivia, history related. Doesn't anybody really care who my favorite NPC is? No, maybe we should discuss where that NPC came from and what the NPC's history is. So I wanted to bring a historic insight to these questions. I didn't just want to talk about how I started gaming. I wanted to talk about how gaming started and what the first module was, Palace of the Vampire Queen. So there we go. So 4 or 5 reasons. And all those reasons were inspired by I saw other people doing things that I thought I could do just as well, or in my own ego, maybe better. Certainly if there's an audience for a guy eating ramen and commenting about ramen and getting 7K views and 10K subscribers, and he just eats ramen, there's nothing very interesting about this guy. He's not very attractive. He's not like, he's not like Belle Daphne and showing her boobs. Just some guy eating ramen, and he's got 7K views. If he can do that, I certainly can get 5 views talking about D&D and showing D&D product and talking about role-playing and trying to, and blah, blah, with everything that I do. Didn't quite hit the goal. I saw Adam the Woo and Justin, and I saw the love and passion and history that they were bringing to talking about things like an abandoned gas station in the middle of the nowhere. And I was like, I could bring that same love and passion and history to gaming. And maybe there's an audience for that. I saw these girls, these gorgeous porn stars, people who normally are disrespected and just treated like nothing more than objects because of their career choice, role-playing in a positive, fun, interactive, original, unique way that I'd never seen before. And they were resolving situations and strange and weird ways. And sure, occasionally they'd said things like, I'm going to give the guard a blowjob, but whatever. They knew their audience. But, so that inspired me. It inspired me because here were these questions on the net every day during the month of August. What's your favorite D&D flavor? What's your favorite D&D color? What's your favorite D&D place? I was like, I could talk about this. I could do this. I know things. And of course, Critical Role. And at the time, all these people were talking about Critical Role. Critical Role was just starting out. And every experience I had with Critical Role was negative. And I wanted to offer a counterpoint. I wanted to say, no, this is just one way, but there are other ways. And if you think this is the only way to game, you're wrong. And again, that could be the topic of a whole nother vlog. And I'm sure I'm going to get some flack because I mentioned Critical Role on this. And it's obvious that I have some very strong opinions that some people would consider negative and wrong about Critical Role. And to them I say, hey, I still got free speech until Trump takes it away, so whatever. This is my experience. It doesn't mean it's your experience. It doesn't mean it's right. Nothing I have said in the past 16 minutes affect anybody but me. It's my experience and my beginnings and how I got to here. August 1st, 2020. I haven't hit 200 subs. I've made, I think in the 5 years I've done this, $20 off of this. I haven't sold anything on my online store. I haven't made any money on the Patreon. I haven't received any inspiration to publish anything. Most of the time I feel like, am I wasting my time? Am I just masturbating because my only audience is myself and my cat? My average view count is 3. Should this be the end? If I don't hit 200 subs by August 4th, should I just stop or take a break until I at least can afford a better computer and a better camera and learn how to actually edit and do this and invest the time and energy and money to take the classes I need to be up on the same level as Adam the Woo, or even the same level as the girls who are doing I Hit It With My Axe? I mean, I'm obviously never going to have the production value of Critical Role, but I certainly can have the same production value of the guy who's eating ramen. So who knows? Maybe this beginning is the start of my ending, because the last word on day 31 is experience. What has my experience been? Where is this experience taking me? I'm at a point in my life where I'm at a huge crossroads because everything I built my life up to ended with COVID-19 and the shutdown in March. Everything I built my life up to in Ventura ended. All my friends are gone. Nobody wants to game anymore. Nobody wants to talk anymore. Nobody wants to hang out anymore. The two people who mean the most to me in my life, one is going away and the other has just vanished into a ball of loneliness and depression and doesn't talk to me anymore. So I have very little interaction with my family. So it is time for a beginning. It is time to take advantage of the negativity of COVID-19 and the position it has placed me in and do something positive with it. Change my life again, because if nothing else can come from this, it gives me a chance to reassess, rejuvenate, reinvent, put myself back out there and say, it is time to do something new. It is time for a beginning. And that is day 1 of RPG A Day 2020. 20 minutes of me talking about absolutely nothing. I hope you appreciated the words that are coming out of my mouth. If you do, maybe you would take a moment to consider subscribing to my vlog. If you haven't subscribed yet, help me hit 200 subs by August 4th. You could fucking unsubscribe on August 5th. I don't care. Just the goal is 200. And if you're feeling generous and you have an extra dime or two, check out the links down below and maybe consider supporting me, because I have no income right now. And I'd like to make enough money so you could watch a video of me eating ramen, because as you know, I also do food on this channel. Anyways, there we go. Please also consider, if you're watching this, taking part in RPG A Day 2020, making your own videos about this. The link is below where you can go to find the questions. That's 20 minutes. I'll talk to you losers later.